I have a suggestion to make. Kenya should stop pretending that it's a democracy. Okay? We should stop making a lot of pretenses that we have a constitution, that we have whatever, and we just declare Kenya a dictatorship. Pure and simple. And the kind of dictatorship going on in Kenya is just crazy. I mean, the government gets even to your bedroom. The government wants you to know, the government wants to control how you think. Yeah? What do you think the latest attack on social media is all about? What is it all about? Okay, let me clear there about something. Because there's been a lot of misinformation. This government has been the most effective in misinforming, misleading, misguiding, yeah, Kenyans ever in the history of our country. Okay? But let me just clear there over this issue. The issue is that when people make funny comments on social media, when people go on social media and start abusing one another, this provokes violence, especially violence like what we saw in 2007. That has been the rhetoric. But hold on a minute. Just think carefully about it. This is not Rwanda. This is Kenya. In Rwanda, people are incited for the violence to start. Actually, the truth is, if you have studied the Rwandan situation correctly, this thing was planned for a long time. It was simmering. And then radio was used to broadcast hate messages, hate speech, and this incited people into the violence. That's what happened in Rwanda. It has never happened in Kenya. Okay? Now, the correct position is that in Kenya, the violence of 2007 was not caused by incitement. The violence of 2007 was created by a stolen election. Period. Nothing else. Now, the stolen election came at a time when the country had already suffered so much injustices. You know, things were boiling over. Yeah? Now, unfortunately, and admittedly, that is the same situation today. Things are still boiling over. And the government is still misleading. The government is still, it wants to get into our bed, it wants to send soldiers into our bedrooms to beat us with batons. Yeah, that has been happening. And the government has been denying. Okay? It wants to get into our bedrooms via social media. They want to see what we're saying on social media, what we're doing on social media. Now, excuse me, I thought the Constitution allowed us freedom of speech. I thought the Constitution gives us fundamental freedoms. And I believe in the name of 2007, and in the name of stopping violence, which the government itself is provoking, these rights are being taken away from us. That is the truth. Now, if you doubted this, the latest news, which has just broken a few minutes ago, should convince you entirely. The NGO board has delisted the Kenya Human Rights Commission. Yep, it has been delisted. Imefutwa. Now, granted, they've given reasons there: financial impropriety, breaking the law, blah, 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 all those other things. But folks, don't be fooled. The timing, it's always about the timing. The timing stinks to high heaven. Because KHRC has been banned at a time when the Kenyan security forces are killing Kenyans. They're killing children. Yeah? They're killing toddlers. Yeah? And this is not hearsay or propaganda. This is information which is available in the news. Kenyans, wake up. Okay? Let us wake up before our country, well, it's too late. Our country is already a dictatorship. Already it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of Kenyans are scared of what they're supposed to, are very scared about what they say in media, social media. They're very scared about what they do in social media. Yeah? And the government, through the police, keeps on issuing threats. Oh, we've arrested so-and-so. Oh, we've arrested so-and-so. Oh, we're going to arrest you. Be warned what you say in social media. Oh, boy. Now, there's also something else interesting. The group which is suspect for incitement are the slum dwellers, correct? The low-income people, yeah? And this is exactly where, this is correct because this is exactly where the security forces are. I don't see any large presence of GSU and policemen in Lavington. I don't see that in Muthaiga either. Yeah, I don't see them in Kuna. Yeah, then Kawangware, then Madare, yeah, then Kibra, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, who uses social media? Social media is used by Lavington, Kuna, yeah, and then there's the upper middle class. Those guys who are in the middle class, but are threatening to go into the upper class. You know, they're middle class, but they're comfortable, yeah? Those are the guys who can afford Safaricom bundles, my friends. Isn't that the truth? Yeah? So, when you attack social media, it is not really about hate speech, my friends. It is not about hate speech. Yeah? With all due respect. I know hate speech is bad. I'm not supporting it, don't get me wrong. But when you start shutting down social media, you're not talking, it's the issue here, the objective of the government is not hate speech. I can assure you that. The objective of the government is to control how you think. So that, for instance, with the recent stolen election, you're even scared to say it was stolen. That's the whole idea. Yeah? And this government has been very smart in, leading us in the wrong direction, telling us this, telling us that. But it is time we started speaking the truth. It's time Kenyans started saying no. We need our fundamental rights back. Okay? Now this, of course, when these rights are taken back, when an election is stolen, what are you going to say? Because if you open your mouth, any comment on social media, you risk hate speech. You risk being picked up by the cops that you're spreading propaganda. Yeah? And let me tell you something else you didn't know. The government has spent a lot of money setting up entire units of so many people on social media with different handles. Their work is to peep, see what you're saying, leave silly, funny comments. Oh, I'm a Luo, I voted for Raila, but because he has not conceded, I'll never vote for him again. Those comments, when you see them, just know that's an NIS officer, National Intelligence Service, yeah? Those are government people, okay? Funny comments, yeah? And these guys are very easy to tell. I've told you that in another recording, okay? But the long and short of it is that this government of lies is shutting down the fundamental freedom that we enjoy in this country. And we are asleep, okay? Now it is okay. Kenyans, you can go on being asleep. You can let things be the way they are, yeah, without even raising a finger, without saying anything, yeah? You can let Kumekucha be the lone voice screaming himself hoarse, yeah? That is okay. But let me tell you something. You have your good life, but know one thing. Your children are going to inherit this problem being created now. And I can assure you, by the time your children are of age, and by the time your children get into this mix properly, it will be irreversible. It will be very difficult to sort out. So you really have to make a decision. Do I stand up and speak against this thing now? Or do I hand over the problem to my children to sort out? Now, as a father, a loving mother, the idea is to leave a better place for your children. Yeah? Now, you ask yourself, are you going to leave a better Kenya for your children, the way things are going? Are you going to leave a better Kenya for your children when children are being shot and then we are told that person, oh, it's very unfortunate, official police statement, it's very unfortunate, but that poor girl, school girl, that poor child was shot by persons unknown. Gosh. Now, let me just end this recording by answering a very interesting comment which was left on one of my videos by a person who I'm sure is an NIS officer. Somebody works for the government, okay? Because you know one of these tactics is to divert attention from the real issue, yeah? So this guy comes to the site and says, oh, this guy you must be making a lot of money. I like your strategy. I like your marketing strategy. You see, now the whole idea there is to create negativity so that people who are enjoying the videos, people who are getting their eyes open, can now turn around and say, no, there must be a money issue here. And then one of the colleagues of the same guy had made a comment earlier that if whenever you see a problem somewhere, follow the money, meaning that this channel is financed by somebody. Gosh. Now let me make an official statement on that. There are some of the people who've been Kumekucha followers for a long time. They know that I have got no financier. Okay? They know that I fund this thing out of my own pocket. They know I've done that for the last 12 years and I continue to do so. They also know that I've rejected NGO support. You know, there's some NGOs who support, governance things, issues like that, you know. I have completely rejected that. And I've done this thing out of my own pocket. Okay? I have Club 1999. It's not at a wildly popular. There are not that many members. Okay? A little money comes in through that. But the long and short of it, I still reach into my pocket to finance what I'm doing here. And you know, these NIS guys and these government guys can never believe that in 100 years. Because to them, everything is money. What they're doing online now, yeah, against their own country, they're doing it for money. And therefore they assume everybody else does whatever they're doing for money. Now, let's leave that argument for a while and, okay, fine. Let's assume this channel is making money. So what? Is that a crime to make money? Yeah? So that issue is neither here nor there. But let me send a message to them so that they understand me very well and they understand where I came from. If you follow the videos in this channel, you'll notice that they've been very balanced. Okay? In fact, at one time I was being accused of being a Jubilee sympathizer. Okay? Now that's because I'm not a young man and I don't believe in being radical. Yeah? I don't believe that, you know, my total belief is that all politicians are the same. Yeah? Right across the board, they're the same. Hakuna tofauti. NASA and Jubilee, hakuna tofauti. But something happened on the 8th of August. Okay? Something happened on the 8th of August that changed me forever. And what happened on 8th of August was the blatant stealing, fraud done on the Kenyan people. And that one has changed me forever. So if somebody is going to brand me a NASA supporter now, I really don't care. That's okay. Yeah? But as far as I'm concerned, that fraud, the stealing of votes, the open, you know, it was so obvious, you know? And this is done after killing the person who was in charge of that ICT system, murdering him in cold blood. Yeah? And then, after murdering him, these people mess up our elections in such a way that, oh, I don't want to get emotional about this thing. But you know, most of you know what happened on the 8th of August. Yeah, and it's not a lie. Yeah? It happened in daylight. Because we live in Kenya. Okay? Kenyan people are not stupid. Okay? If Jubilee was that popular, okay, Kenyan people would have accepted this election result without any problem. Yeah? But when you come and then you give us election results, which even surpass your own polls, you know, the polls which are coming out, they surpass those polls. They show you're leading even by more. Go tell that to the birds. So friends, fellow countrymen, my fellow Kenyans, we have a choice today. And that choice is we keep quiet on social media. We cower to the threats that are being issued by the government on social media. Yeah? And just remember that, in fact, let me just, an interesting aside here. I know not many of you have read the book 1984. 1984 was a classic book written by somebody called George Orwell. And in it, they predicted a situation where the government would control everything. Yeah? Now, that is exactly the way the situation is today. Because if the government can look into my social media, they know that, they know the girls I'm talking to, I'm happily married, yeah? They know maybe the affair I'm having with my mpango akando. What don't they know about me? What don't they control about my life? Okay? This social media thing is just a farce. Yeah? Anyway, yeah. So the choice is very simple. The choice is very simple, my fellow Kenyans. Let us forget we belong to Jubilee. Let us forget we belong to NASA. And let us just get our country back. It's as simple as that. Because these parties will not help us. As I've told you, these politicians are the same. If we're going to wait for politicians to come and do it for us, then I'm sorry, you've got a very long wait coming. Okay? Because these guys have got their own interests. Okay? So, we need to decide what we want with our country. But from where I sit, things are bad. Because if a riot policeman can enter my bedroom, at his, what is he doing? Is he dealing with protesters? No. He's actually dealing with criminals. That's what the government is telling us. If it can enter my bedroom saying it's dealing with criminals, hit me with a club on the head, shoot me as a criminal without due process, yeah? That is not a democracy. That is not a democracy. Not in 100 years. That is not a democracy. And Kenyans, we need to open our eyes and realize what is happening. In the name of peace, 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 or peace, or 2007, in the excuse of 2007. And these excuses are not factual. I don't want trouble in Kenya. I live in Kenya. Some people very close to me and relatives actually in hotspots. Yeah, I don't want any trouble. But the truth must be told. Yeah, don't fool us. Yeah, quit this big propaganda machine you have, which is the work is just to mislead and take Kenyans in the wrong direction. Now I'm going to continue on this topic in a few other recordings by giving you very, very, very specific examples and specifics actually. Yeah, but for now, I just want you to chew on that, because this is a very serious issue. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.